Every year, as we honor our soldiers who've died in the line of duty protecting us on our borders and in the battle against terrorists, we often forget that these men leave behind families, people who they loved, and people who loved them intensely. This is the story of 33-year-old Major Shashi Daran Nair, who loved his country and loved his wife so much that he married her, even though she was paralyzed waist down. On the 11th of January, Major Shashi Daran Nair, an army officer of the Gurkha regiment, was killed in an IED blast in Nowshera along the line of control in Kashmir. Major Nair was not just a soldier and an officer to the men he commanded. He was a best friend, and to his wife Trupti, he was a pillar, the man who did not think twice about marrying his sweetheart, even though she was diagnosed with multiple arteriosclerosis. Some said he should have called off his engagement. He thought nothing about this, not for a moment.
No amount of words could be enough to describe a man like Major Nair. He was an exemplary human being, a wonderful husband, a role model of a husband when it came to taking care of his wife, his family, his friends.
But life for Trupti got even harder. After her marriage, she suffered a stroke and was left paralyzed waist down. But the young major, just 33 years old, never let his wife down. They were together for parties, always happy. If he had to, Major Nair would carry Trupti in his arms.
I think his legacy is something that is going to be missed by his friends, his colleagues, his family, and I don't think any amount of words could kind of describe the kind of person that he was.
When he was posted to Kashmir, Trupti was worried. On the 2nd of January, he said goodbye and left after leave. This is how he returned. What a terribly sad story of a young major in the prime of his life, somebody who gave his life fighting for our country, somebody who leaves behind friends and family and a wife who he loved beyond anything else. Joining us now, Rohit Nair, a close friend of Major Nair. They're not related, they're just friends. Rohit, thanks very much for speaking to us. I think that the part of the story that really reflects his character was the fact that when people told him that, you know, maybe you shouldn't get married, the person who you're having a relationship with has a disability, he put that aside. He was perhaps offended by those remarks and he went ahead and he married Trupti. When they were together, he carried her around. She was the love of his life. It was a sense not just of generosity, it was a sense of love, of commitment. Tell us a little bit about this man, a man who would do something like this.
So, as I said, I met Major Shashi back in 2016 when I was looking to apply into the Territorial Army. And actually, he was introduced to me by a friend of mine, Major Wasim. And so that's where I actually got to know him as a person. Even before an officer, he seemed to be a very helpful, a very down-to-earth and a very humble human being above anything. And he was kind enough, to recommend in fact, he referred me to the CEO of the battalion over here in Pune. And, was kind enough to arrange a meeting for me with him. And although I didn't get in, but it's precisely because of men and women like him who put their lives on the line and, they don't know whether they're going to see their families again or not. And just because, privileged people like us can just get up and see and be with our loved ones every day. And that is something which on the very ethos, which kind of motivated me to, kind of sign up for the army or trying to contribute in my own way. And I also remember, so he helped me out with whatever notes possible, if in any way, if any suggestions, any, sort of recommendations required, he helped me out with all that.
And Rohit, what you were telling me earlier on was that Trupti was the love of his life. When people came to him and said, she has serious disabilities, don't get married, he was offended. He married the woman that he loved. He would have it no other way.
Absolutely, yeah. And that shows his unwavering commitment and, the kind of word that he would keep as an officer and as a man and as a loving husband to his wife. And under no matter what the circumstances were, he just kept his word, and that shows what kind of a human being, what kind of a man that he was. And it's actually I cannot say enough. And to be honest, I didn't even know him that well. I'm sure there are friends and colleagues who know him way better to, throw light on that in a more detailed way. But yes, from what I've heard and what I've known, his wife was fine. I mean, they were fine till the time they got engaged. Then after engagement, her condition started kind of deteriorating, which is when people started, kind of dissuading him. But he never gave in, and he kept his word, and he went through with it. And she's lucky to have had a man like him.
And I think the country is lucky to have had a brave soldier, a committed soldier, and a deeply committed, caring and loving husband. Thanks very much.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much, Rohit, for speaking to us.